I'm going to talk about one thing not many people know about me, which is before my current job, my initial dream was to be a teacher. There you go, now you know. I wanted to change the system so it helped people like me. It felt being in school, particularly through my GCSEs, that the system meant teachers were more focused on the high achievers. And due to that focus, in my perspective, it felt people like me who aren't that type of student, that the attention, the pressure, and information was just less, and I didn't think it was fair or nice. And they're already going to pass the GCSEs, where students like me just weren't as likely. So I wanted to change that. I wanted, so that wasn't the case. And I found my interest at a young age and volunteered to coach and lead sessions for a number of years. Unfortunately, to be a teacher, you need to go to uni, and I'm not academic enough, as I spoke about before, so it didn't work out for me. But what you didn't know is between uni and my current job, other than lockdown, after lockdown, I was an SENTA, and I'll talk about how I got there. So, once lockdown lifted, I needed a job. I knew I still wanted to pursue teaching. I knew my CV would help, given I coached kids from primary to secondary school with a number of different disabilities would help. Um, I also ran with a lot of runners who were teachers, so I knew that schedule would benefit me in terms of being a runner. So I ended up applying for a company that gave me quite a lot of on and off jobs as a special educational needs teaching assistant, which is SENTA for short. One was in a secondary school, which I did not enjoy at all, but most were in a primary school. Now I know at different schools, so some were one to one and some were in groups. I preferred the group ones as I was an SEN, so I knew in a group setting you get away from being judged by everyone in school. I also know, having been there, that you are judging yourself in that room. Now, when I was in that place, all my friends were high achievers, and I was undiagnosed, so it didn't feel great. It didn't go particularly well either. It impacted my confidence both socially and academically and educationally for a long period of time. But as I lived it, the teachers liked that experience. They liked the experience. I also coached it as well. So much so they actually thought I was 10 years older than he actually was. And I was 22 at this point. So getting told you look 30 isn't really a compliment, but you have to take it. Despite what they thought and the feedback to their teachers and the company thought I'd best suited to year 4 to 3 kids. You're thinking why? Why is that the case? Well, I do have a story about that. So I did get one student in year 2 who was in year 2 and he was severely autistic, and the way he learned was through an iPad in class while the rest of the students got on with their lessons. And towards the end of the day, he needed to put his iPad away, which he didn't like. So he ran out the classroom, did a lap of the entire school. I was in a suit, so I couldn't keep up with him. I did try, but unfortunately I lost him. I did eventually find him, but by that point I was so overwhelmed by it all, I knew I didn't get the job. So yeah, that's why the company thought I'd best suit year 3 to 4 kids. So, after that, it's sort of fair enough, isn't it, really? So the way I got my current job was through a scheme on Universal Credit, where I had to do a level 2, which I initially failed. With help, I eventually passed it, but then I was on a 6-month contract, I think. So I did everything I did to get this job on a permanent basis. And I think my undiagnosed autism, having a little OCD, did help with that, but also held me back. The lack of confidence that school had given me both educationally and socially did impact me, which meant I was quite a handful to know, which meant this is going to be a long list, which meant I was very quick to anger, easily stressed, quite stubborn, extremely negative, grumpy, an awful communicator, and I let mistakes define me and avoided stuff once I made the mistake. And I was like this everywhere. Given I was like this meant my only real form of where I felt accepted and able to express myself was through the world of music, TV, and movies. Over time, I learned that as important as express yourself, also helps to communicate it to people. For me, for me to reach my goal where I'm comfortable enough to be myself, not just with people I'm comfortable with or in a place I'm comfortable with, but everywhere really, it meant I needed to make mistakes. I needed to be like that. More importantly, I needed people to learn how to deal with me to show me a better path. Or none of this being like this would never have happened. Everyone played their part beautifully, and they definitely did that to me. And although the people in my life, these, these videos help me identify hurdles and accept myself more, rather than just dealing with by myself. Although the main idea was always to help people like me. That was always something I wanted to do. Going into personal training, these videos set up a work running club which is going live soon, but always to help people like me. If there's one, that was always the that was always the aim. Doing these videos helped me as much as I hope they helped you. There's one thing my granddad taught me is to live your life. Enjoy what you do. As long as you're happy, despite the struggles it may cause, or what anyone thinks, live a wonderful life. As long as you're happy, that's all that matters. Alright, I'll see you later, guys.